Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in the finals for the WGLNA Season 5 Qualifier 2. I'm Joshua Gray, joined by Randall Holcomb. As a reminder, please follow us on Twitter at WGLNA, Facebook.com/WGLNA, and use that hashtag so we can find your tweets and put them up on the broadcast.
Yep, and don't forget about question of the day. It's who's going to make it, who's going to win. You're about to see that match, so get your tweets in.
Send them in. Also, place your bets. Betting is open at the beginning of every single battle. The top performers, when it comes to betting points, will be eligible, one will be chosen, for a $50 promo code to receive some awesome Jinx products, World of Tanks products you can currently see at jinx.com/World of Tanks. You're looking for a gift for a special someone for Black Friday or for Cyber Monday or any sort of sales or
a new pair of gym shorts.
Or a new pair of gym shorts, or you want to get something for yourself, go ahead and check out Jinx. Great friend of mine works there. Hunter, shout out to him. All right, this is the finals. This is the moment. We will find out who's going to be the last team, the 16th team joining us in the Gold League. And Randall, it could go either way.
It really could. And hearing that the second map is going to be Himmelsdorf, looks like the first map might be Ruinberg in this series.
Yeah.
It will be. And that's a big from what we saw. Let's take a look at the rosters real quick, and then we're going to get into this first battle. But remind you guys, Simply Irresistible. Eula, one of the big players. Bobby, we talked about him. Bananas, we've seen do very well. Kaiser, Pride, all of these as Vode. I keep an eye on him, especially from Simply Irresistible. Doge Squad, what are you looking for from them? From
the Doge Squad, the same type of overmatch consistency and also the splitting, the tactical teams of 3 tanks moving in on the south type of approaches we saw on the more open maps. We need to see the same type of flanks on these city maps. What do we have for tanks?
From tanks, we're looking at 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs, and that is Simply Irresistible, the blue team who is defending. The attackers, the red team, Doge Squad, single 5100, 2 IS-3s, 2 1390s, and 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. So we've got a meatier defensive team with a more mobile, still bursty, and dangerous attacker, Doge Squad.
The initial runs coming from both teams. We have Simply Irresistible, SI for short.
And a blitz right down the middle. This is an opening move I saw when watching some of the European streams that sometimes didn't work, but occasionally actually did find some success. Right across the middle. That's going to get them into the Delta Village very quickly, and Doge Squad is getting out serious damage. Wow, that is impressive. Speed Weaponry is down to half hit points right now, and no damage really in reply. 2
shots from JD and Speed Weaponry went towards Matsu Sol and Bobo, but they fired back towards Speed Weaponry with an answer. They did damage. Speed now at about 50% health, and this map coverage from Doge Squad, this map ownership is huge, as Simply Irresistible is going to move into the Delta Village and figure out what to do next.
Yeah, we've got Turkey Vulture moving into position from the south. He will get there eventually, a few more seconds, and he'll be able to put fire onto those tanks clustered in the north.
Boat hit for 133. Speed Weaponry is in the center of the crossroads here, and he cannot cross. If he does, he's going to expose himself potentially to Bobo and Matsu Sol, who now are moving slightly towards the rest of the team, maybe getting some coverage on the other side of the ruins here.
Yeah, it seems like their crossfire that they had a moment ago is gone. They're going to take advantage of that, and this is good timing, just as Simply Irresistible is beginning their attack in the east.
And from the Delta Village, there's multiple approaches that Simply Irresistible can move in against the now crowded area of Doge Squad. And Flak in the IS-3 is going to move in as well, and this return fire will go well for Turkey Vulture to take down Vode. Bobby is hit for a huge volley to 5100, and Turkey Vulture takes him down as well. That one tank to the south is really proving to be a good call from Doge Squad, but they're starting to lose a lot of health here in this engagement.
It's all right. They've got a little bit of advantage already in their tanks being alive. They do have someone low. Astropunk does go down, but Cod has gone all the way in, and he doesn't seem to care right now, and that's getting results.
Cod is able to take down Eula. JD hit again for 158. Swipple is backing out. It looks like he's going to have to reload. Flak in the IS-3 has full HP, and he was at quarterback type position, now moving in. Swipple's hit for 407. That alpha strike from that IS-3 is big. Matsu Sol pushes in, gets that kill. It is 5 against 2. A shot from Rick Owens at 1390 does not connect. Flak is hit for 260, but JD fires towards Rick Owens and gets the kill.
And now Rollroad's trying to escape in the 1390, just trying to get that reload, as Turkey Vulture should be loaded soon and will be able to clean this up if they don't lose everyone else first.
That's going to be the tough part here because Flack just got another nice shot and a kill. JD's hit for 374. Roll's going to push in and try to get behind Flack. Can he get behind him in time? Flack's, nope. He's able to get the shot. Now it's 2 against 1. An IS-3 and a 5100 versus an IS-3. Matsu Sol and Turkey Vulture can't get connected shots against Flack. Flack's going to push in against Matsu Sol. Fire does not get the kill. 384 in that shot. Turkey Vulture now moving to the other side. Gets hit for 323. Matsu Sol lines it up against it. Doge Squad gets the first victory on Ruinberg.
All right, strong opening, setting the tempo, getting a little bit of damage early on, and then in the brawl, Simply Irresistible does come back a little bit. They do very well for themselves, but they've already lost in the hit point battle. They don't have enough hit points. And even against an opponent which brought a lighter lineup, they were not able to just focus down the right tanks. You saw numerous Doge Squad tanks sitting at nearly dead. One more shell would kill them, and they're able to deal just a little more damage before going down. And that's important. Doge Squad was able to utilize that to distract their opponent, keep them confused, and you didn't see Simply Irresistible able to handle themselves quite as easily in a brawl as they had in previous series we watched them. They'd been able to take their opponent apart one by one by one, just breaking them up and destroying them like that. This is a situation when their opponent's good enough, they completely stop them from being able to.
But that's how close it was, because even though the advantage of the placement of Turkey Vulture, which I'd like to see his stats, this was not a, uh-oh, what do we do from Simply Irresistible? It was, we've got to use the Delta Village as best as we can and start striking back and forth. We saw that, but too much damage was taken before that engagement even started.
Yeah, so we've got Turkey Vulture doing 2,142. He gets 9 shells out in that battle, and only one of them bounces. Not bad, considering the range he was at in the first engagement, where he was about 300 meters away and was shooting through bushes, so not a very clear shot of his opponent. And then later on, when he goes up close range, all of those looked like they were solid connections.
But that one kill shut down that reinforcement fire coming from the 5100, and from there it started to crumble apart from Simply Irresistible. Still a good fight on their end, despite the loss. It's still anybody's game here, since that was only the first battle in this best of 8. First to 5 will be joining us in the Gold League. Battle number 2 is about to begin. What do we have for tanks?
For tanks, I'm looking at 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, a Tiger 1, and an M41 Walker Bulldog from the Doge Squad. Simply Irresistible, 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. So just about mirror lineups. Tiger 1 and an extra M41 Bulldog are kind of the only real differences. Will there be any kind of blitzes like we saw last time? Probably not, because we see heavier lineups from both teams. Those light tanks, though, from Simply Irresistible can get around on the flanks and do some work. And Doge Squad has more hit points with that Tiger 1 that could indicate some kind of a North Cap rush.
Vode's going to go to that Delta Village, or excuse me, the Northern Village. He's going to be covered with Bananas in the IS-3. More of a spread, but look at this. Doge Squad going for another type of approach, and they get a couple shots into Rick Owens. Cod's going to push up against Vod here in that Walker Bulldog.
Will a shell get in there?
Oh,
yes!
nice shot from his teammate.
That's it. Vode cannot afford to peek out much at all from this point on. COD is in a strong position, and Doge Squad is not quite pushing in yet. Looks like they might try and shield someone on the cap, but it's an interesting play. I'm not too aggressive. It could play out well. It depends on how they orient themselves in this.
Now COD, even though he is in a very dangerous place, is able to spot these two tanks pushing up, Flack and JD. Banana's going to push up in that IS-3, potentially, since COD is low. But the Walker Bulldog from Vode is going to move back, and Bananas is going to hit for 290, and there goes COD. So the first tank's going to fall on the side of the Doge Squad, but a lot of good information gathering at first. It's how Doge Squad is going to handle this next part of the engagement.
Yeah, we're looking at the IS-3s.
Oh, JD hit for 2. 623 in that volley. He's going to fall back.
That's what I was looking for. Precisely that. IS-3's getting some good hits. I think the Tiger lended his hand right there. Good shot. Good angle on the corner approaching from the south. The flank will come in from Simply Irresistible shortly, and that could be useful, but Doge Squad could take that and just push forward onto the cap. They've got their opponent low in some places.
Waiting for another engagement here is a 5-minute mark. Looks like passed.
They're pulling Vode back. Vode's not going to go for a flank. Instead, he's going to begin chilling out at the south, looking for Doge Squad to be aggressive in that major. 5100's rolling forward. This indicates to me Doge Squad is ready to go on the aggressive.
And huge cross shots coming from both sides here. But now they're going to push forward. They're not going to really mind Flak or JD. They want to push towards the northern village. Royal's going to get hit from Swipple. Matsu Soul's taking a lot of fire, but it's JD that falls next. Turkey Vulture's going to get right behind Flak. He's going to get behind Flak, stop him from moving backwards. He's going to bounce a shot off the front, though. Turkey Vulture's got to be very careful. And that Tiger 1 from Astropunk helps out there. Vode takes down Matsu Soul, who is very low on health. Vode will be the next one to fall from this IS-3, or they focus on Bananas. No, Bubba's going to get the kill against Vode for that revenge kill. Rick Owens in the IS-3, right behind Bananas, going to fire another shot for that Alpha Strike damage, as Bobby and Swipple in the 5100s have significant distance to stay away from those IS-3s at first, and Rick Owens and Bubba have got to be careful because of this. Eula takes down Astropunk.
Good play. Turkey Vulture is on the reload right now. Should not be loaded until maybe a few more seconds, and he should go down. Eula will go down. That might keep him alive for just longer. Who from Simply Irresistible is going to take that 5100 down? He could bring this one back.
This is going to be really tough because these 5100s are probably fully loaded if they stayed out of the fight for this long. Bananas, next one to fall. And big explosion coming from there, but Bobo is surrounded by two 5100s, and Simply Irresistible is able to defend against the Doge Squad. That Vode was able to get the kill against Matsu as well, so that's why if you leave a tank, even with a sliver of health, and even if it is an M41 Bulldog, they still will be in the fight.
Yeah, let's look at his damage he was able to deal. Vode is who we're talking about. Vode able to get out a good 649 damage with one kill. Eula also able to get himself a kill in that battle before going down. I like that. That was absolutely just well played. Well played. Not outstanding in a way that he's the MVP for the battle. You have to give that to the heavy tanks for handling that situation. Strong, but it's a good use of that light tank where I wasn't sure if it was going to be effective.
Another thing that I wanted to check is how many shots those 5100s actually dealt out. It was 10 for 10 from Swipple, who did 2,421 damage, and then his teammate in the other 5100 was 5 for 5 with 8 shots fired, so 5 that hit did penetrate, for 1,525 damage. So you have Swipple, who is firing his second round of that second engagement, and Bobby doing the same thing, but even though he was 5 for 5, Swipple dominated in that 5100.
Yes. But you are forgetting that Bananas did 3K damage.
Oh, of course. All right.
3K damage in that thing. IS-3s, when given the opportunity to just keep putting out shells, keep putting out shells, keep putting out shells, are going to outdistance most everything else. Because 390 average damage for a Tier 8 heavy tank is just brutal. Just brutal. Every time he was hitting, he was dealing so much damage, and he wasn't wasting too much time on low health tanks. He was getting everything that had plenty of health, so he could maximize the efficiency there.
Yeah, and that's sometimes a tough call because of that M41 Bulldog that was still alive. He could have shot and got the kill, even though ram damage would have killed that tank. Could Matsu Soul still be alive after that? That's a what if. Big what if. But let's move into battle number 3 between Doge Squad and Simply Irresistible.
All right, now it is switched. We've got attackers, defenders, opposite sides now. So Doge Squad is now the defenders. And they have brought two 5100s, 3 IS-3s at 1390, and they're going to put Matsu Soul in that T-37 again. I like that. I think he'll do well. Simply Irresistible, two 5100s, 3 IS-3s, 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. So let's see if these little tanks can do an exceptional job again and really stand out. But is that blitz from Simply Irresistible, will it work? Because these tanks are a little bit slower.
Yeah, they're moving quickly in the center. 2 tanks will be spotted, and oh man, shots fired on the move. Cod is hit for 387, 394 against Vode, so traded fire back and forth. Cod's in some trouble.
Needs to get out of here.
50% HP left, but he's hit again. These Bulldogs are getting into the mix and then getting out of there quickly. And now they're on top of the flag cap. But shots fired towards Flak 434, and that hit, he did get tracked. Looks like he went for the repair though. And Simply Irresistible is going to put a lot of pressure in the center flag cap, and Doge Squad's going to have to answer.
All right, where's the screen is first question. Simply Irresistible, if they can get tanks between their opponent and the cap, they can make this work. If everyone sits on cap, not feeling it. 20 seconds left, though, and we need to see Doge Squad get a reset. That's going to be very important for them.
Shots firing back and forth. Vode is hit for 363. Rolled gets another shot into Flak. And Matsusol, Astropunk, and Cod are still in the Delta Village. They're able to hit one shot against Bobby in the 5100. They want to shut him down quickly, but return fire coming towards Astropunk and Matsusol. Cod is the first tank to fall on the side of Doge Squad for the defenders. And Simply Irresistible has now moved most of their tanks into the Delta Village.
Now we've got Doge Squad effectively split apart. This high ground removes 2 of the IS-3s from down below. They're going to have to try and make it work below because up above, these T-37, 5100, 5100 are all going to fall one by one. The IS-3 Bobo has come to back up, and that could slow it down, but they're losing tanks too quickly. Doge Squad is losing their ability to influence this match.
And JD is taken out, so that flank fire coming from Simply Irresistible is destroyed. Because of that, the other side of the engagement had more firepower, and Simply Irresistible now has the lead with tanks still left alive. 4 down for Doge Squad, only 2 for Simply.
But look at the hit point pools from Simply Irresistible. These IS-3s can group up properly. They can just annihilate one tank at a time, doing it as Simply Irresistible was in previous matches yesterday. They just need to focus fire well, and this is going to work for them. It's not quite going as planned, though.
And nobody is focusing on Vode and the Walker Bulldog in the center, and he's getting more side shots against Rold and Bobo. Bobo falls. Rick Owens takes down Vode finally, but now it's 2 against 3. IS-3 rolled super low. Bananas needs a straight shot into a penetrating hole, and he gets it. Now it's only Rick Owens up against Simply Irresistible.
All right, Rick Owens needs 2 shells to kill Banana, 1 for Eula and 1 for Bobby. So that's going to be a big mistake for Simply Irresistible to allow Rick Owens to get away with that. It's a difficult situation right now for Doge Squad. The possibility always exists, but the situation is so difficult because your opponent is also incredibly skilled.
There is a bounce against Rick, and now he's going to have to fall back as the 5100 is going to push in against a missed shot from Bobby.
He does the classic mistake, which is going around the corner in third person and then trying to fire there. A little bit of lag, firing slightly too early. Bananas out.
And he misses another shot. Rick Owens takes down Bananas, but it's the 5100 Bobby that closes the deal. Now Simply Irresistible is up 2-1 against Doge Squad.
That was a few interesting examples of how everything could go wrong for Simply Irresistible, but they still are able to close that one up. 5100. There's something that I feel a lot of players complain about in World of Tanks that I know, and I've done this myself, which is when you go around a corner, sometimes you fire a little bit too early and you don't take into account that there's latency between you and a server. That's just the way the internet is. And you end up shooting a building instead.
You gotta do your best. Roll hits Swipple there, but you'll notice Vode takes down Bobo. Again, another Walker Bulldog being completely underestimated. Still left alive. The IS-3 thinking, well, if I shoot on the right side, if I shoot him, then I'm going to be more exposed. Well, if you shoot him, guess what? Your teammates are still alive. You know, I'm finding this a consistent pattern now happening here from these teams of discounting the Walker Bulldog in these very close firefights.
You have to give it to a lot of the Walker Bulldogs, though. They are putting themselves in dangerous positions, positions which force an opponent to make that hard call. Do they deal with you, or do they decide to continue with their primary target? Because you can say that you want to keep all of your front armor forward so that someone's not shooting you in the back of the turret while you're also getting shot in the back of the hull. It's just a situation that you're already at a huge disadvantage. You know, T-37s and M41s are doing a great job at being as annoying as possible.
That takes us into battle number 4 on Ruinberg, Simply Irresistible and the Doge Squad. What do we have for tanks?
For tanks, we're looking at 2 AMX 5100s, 3 IS-3s, a single 1390, and then a T-37. Matsusol in that again. And that's going to be the Doge Squad on the attack. Simply Irresistible, 3 5100s this time, 2 IS-3s, 2 M41 Walker Bulldogs. That will be a lot of burst damage in those 3 5100s. Let's see if they can execute on this.
You're going to have the opening moves here from both teams. Seeing 2 tanks down the center and the rest going towards the northern side. Man, things have completely changed now looking at this map in 7x54 compared to what it was last season.
Approach it completely. It's all turned up. You know, defensive side, yeah, a little bit of the same.
Swipple hit, but 5100, and another shot from Turkey Vulture.
But the way everyone's having to approach this from the attacking side is insane sometimes in order to try and get an advantage. And
Bobby's hit for 420.
They're paying just to get into a solid position.
And as they move, Bobo's going to fall back in that IS-3. He is very, very isolated. And Swipple is hit for 297. Doge Squad starting to show some teeth again.
And, oh, this is not a good situation for Doge Squad. They don't, I think, have enough forces to deal with this cap. They have enough to deal with the 5100s in the south, but they're just here to, you know, buy for time. Yeah,
well, they get the overmatch against Swipple in the 5100, and now they have to get those resets, and Bobby in his 5100 is trying to cover them as much as he can. He is the next to fall. 9 seconds left. They need some track shots. They need some track shots now to stop Rorold and Rick Owens. 2 seconds left. Can it Simply Irresistible get the capture? They can. They get it. They focus on the north side, and they get the battle victory.
Wow. That's one way to pull off a cap fast. All right, you put some forces that you can afford to lose in a position where they're dangerous and they're going to buy time. Your opponent has to account for both caps, right, Josh? So you have to then decide, all right, what forces am I going to send to defend this the southern cap, and which to the northern? You see most people weighing a little on the southern cap. So that strategy works because you distract all of those southern tanks, and then you have the cap fast.
And then you put Bobby in a prime position in that 5100, the sacrificial, I got this, you guys just capture, boom, boom, you know,
yes.
and just trying to keep those IS-3s away from the main target. And that 5, 6, 7 seconds he's able to give them makes the biggest difference in the world. It really does.
It's the difference between victory and defeat right there. Yeah. If those 5100s were not there, you would see a successful defense probably, or a brawl deciding it rather than a cap. But the cap going all the way to 100 without any resets that I could see, really. Did you see?
No resets. There were no resets.
Yeah. It's an easy win right there.
Easy? Sure. That time.
But
this is where things change again. Himmelsdorf's going to be our next map. And the power of the Doge you cannot underestimate. You cannot underestimate the power of the Doge. The thing about this, though, is who's going to attack and who's going to defend, which we're going to find out right now. In this type of defensive mode on Himmelsdorf, staying in that northwestern position on defense, how to break that, how to crack that, we saw that last night. We saw that from Astropunk in that Tiger 1. Covering beautifully behind the fountain. So if we are able to see that same power, potential, and ingenuity coming from, even if not both of these teams, it's still a toss in the air of who's going to win, even though Simply Irresistible is up 3-1.
Maybe so. So we're giving the edge to Doge Squad here, but Simply Irresistible leads right now in the series.
Yes, they do. So it's still anybody's game here, folks, but the winner of this series will be joining us in Season 5 of the Gold League. Battle number 5 is about to begin. What do we have for tanks?
Looks like we've got 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, a KV-3, and that Tiger 1 from the Doge Squad, who will be the defenders, the blue team. The attackers, Simply Irresistible. Oh, I'm getting a call of a disconnect real quick, guys. We're going to have to return to garage and wait for that player to reconnect so we can then get back into game. Yeah. But right off the bat, I think we saw that Tiger 1 we were expecting. No big surprise there in that respect. I think we can predictably we can see it because it worked so well last time. But getting into the mind games, which we've touched on a little bit tonight, is which side is the approach going to come from the attackers. The previous engagement we saw on Ruinberg, the split with the 2 towards the Delta Village and then the rest on the flag cap, mentally almost every single engagement we saw in Ruinberg happened around the Delta Village. And so when teams get complacent, they go, here we go again. How are we going to win at Delta Village? What can we do better? You're so focused on the mistakes that you made, or maybe not even mistakes, but kind of what went wrong. How you got outplayed. How
you got outplayed,
How your opponent did something cute and cheeky in a way, or a little bit out there to try and play that delay game. They didn't out-brawl you or something where it feels cleaner. When your opponent kind of screens the cap like that and pulls something that is really a smart play. It's a good strategic play, but they got you. They did get you, and it might not work the next time, but that could be something that can set the Doge Squad on a bit of a tilt. You're right. And that tilt could be a situation where things could be a little weird.
Yeah, they could be.
Yeah, sorry,
a little weird.
I looked down. I think I accidentally unready. I didn't want to miss the battle.
There we go. Okay, we're good to go. It's confirmed with our admin. Everybody's good to go here. It looks like we are. We have started the countdown. And with the implementation as well of the 2 different flag caps, we have seen, predominantly from last night, a lot of the assaults happening towards the northern section.
Yeah, I would agree. It's probably something teams are more used to. The southern cap in Himmelsdorf is the cap that we've seen from the encounter version of Himmelsdorf.
Yeah.
It's in the west. Both teams spawn
With the church.
Yeah.
I really like the church placement because there's some very cool moments with that crossfire where, you know, a tank would have to get there as quickly as they could, or the 5100s would be blocking the T1s back in the day. But now, since the flag caps are either in the northern center or over to the west, about halfway, at the halfway point.
Yeah, it seems like with most maps, the decision was, why am I continually jumping out of this battle? Oh, darn it. Well, it seems like they took the normal cap, and then they took the cap from maybe encounter or something else they were playing with, and then they put that in as well. So that's a very difficult situation.
Well, as we begin here, let's go ahead and take a look at the tanks that have been chosen from both these teams. We move into the battle. Doge Squad versus Simply Irresistible, battle number 5 on Himmelsdorf.
Looks like we've got 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, 2 Tiger 1s. And that is going to be Doge Squad, who will be the red team attacking the defenders. Simply Irresistible, 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, a KV-3, and a single Tiger 1. So look for the opening moves. And from the defense, it looks like Simply Irresistible is playing this a little aggressive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, especially moving this far south this quickly, as JD's leading the charge in the IS-3. They still have one of their tankers, that's Bananas, who's hanging back, moving towards the hillside. But from the attacker's point of view, they are splitting. They're going a 5-2 route here, it looks like, as a number of them. The majority of them are heading up towards the tank alley. And look at this. Bananas is going to spot this movement. He's going to hang back quickly here.
He's going to have the potential for some nice shots. There it is, 387 into that IS-3 as the rest of the team is moving in. Simply Irresistible is jumping onto Astropunk, that Tiger in the south. JD, though, is down to half health for this, and they're paying to get into this engagement. Rolled and Bobo, though, beautiful positions to counter this out. This is not going as planned for Simply Irresistible right now.
Flak is hit, and he's going to have to fall back here. Speed weaponry takes another shot. Flak goes down. Doge Squad, all tanks left alive, 2 down for Simply Irresistible.
All right, now we see the push from Doge Squad. This is where things could get a little dicey for them. They could lose their momentum. They've left Bananas in the north, who's going to be free to deal damage, but Bobby is going to go down, and yet more advantage for the Doge Squad. All right, with this many tanks left alive, it looks like Doge Squad's going to be able to clean this up, but they are at low health on a few people. There goes Cod in exchange for speed weaponry, though.
Swipple and Vode holding out against the rest of these tankers, but they take a couple cross shot from Rolled and Bobo. There they are. Vode will be the next one to fall. They're not discounting Vode this time in that Tiger 1 compared to when he's in the M41 Bulldog. Swipple's on the run in the 5100. He is the next focus fire. Vode still left alive here and waiting for the last shot for the number of tanks still, so that Matsusol gets the kill.
And now Bananas left all alone. He was to the north, beautiful flanking position, but there's not much you can do now. There's too many hit points on the field, and Doge Squad has done a fantastic job, actually, of getting the right positions, and Simply Irresistible walked right into that fight, it seemed. It was almost too good to be true for the Doge Squad. Rick
Owens takes a big hit from Bananas, but Bobo and Rolled in the 5100s are going to get behind this tank and get the kill here. Just a matter of time. There's one shot tracking him, so Bananas can't dance back and forth. Number of volleys, and Matsusol gets the kill. So Doge Squad puts a point on the board. Maybe I know my Doge.
Maybe.
But Himmelsdorf proved to be in their favor, at least for the first battle.
Yeah, so Simply Irresistible, I think that time went for something to catch their opponent off guard. A blitz. Just trying to see what they can catch. And they could have, if it had come a little bit later, a few tanks cut off. Maybe those 5100s would have been to the south and they could have jumped on those, or they could have found the IS-3s cut off, something like that. But they went so fast that their opponent wasn't even split up yet. Their opponent was still clustered well, and naturally were able to go into good positions to cover that attack and punish Simply Irresistible for being as aggressive as they were, even though it did look like they were going to catch that Tiger 1 out very well.
At first it looked that way, but when you're able to punctuate that much damage that quickly, it stopped Simply Irresistible in their tracks, both figuratively and literally.
Yes.
It did.
Yes.
So the bounce back coming from both teams now is Doge Squad takes a win, maybe changes the momentum a little bit here. That's what can happen when you either change sides or change maps. But what's next for Simply Irresistible is, okay, we got a little bit aggressive on the defensive side. Let's go to plan A. That might have been plan B. Let's go to plan A. Let's wait for the Doge to come to us. So I think it's still really, it has to be in Doge's court what's going to happen next, how they're going to still try to move around the defensive spots here.
I think that win, though, will help them out a little bit confidence-wise. A nice, easy, just fish in a barrel kind of a game.
Sure. All right, let's go ahead and check what type of tanks they're going to bring for battle number 6 between Simply Irresistible and the Doge Squad.
All right, looks like we've got 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, KV-3, Tiger 1 for the Doge Squad. They're the red team attacking. Simply Irresistible will be bringing 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, 2 Tiger 1s. Always love Tiger 1s. You know, 1,500 hit points on that tank. Against the other Tier 7s, you know, caught KV-2, sorry, KV-3 is going to have some great armor right there, some troll armor. You don't bounce everything, but let's take a look at it actually. You can see how there's a flat plate, which you get on the IS, you get on everything in the KV series, but you've got that really nice front slope, which bounces shells that you wouldn't expect sometimes. It's very effective, and you'll even bounce these Tier 8 gold shells. So from time to time, COD will be bouncing shells that will surprise even the person who fired them.
And this is the defensive play I mentioned from Simply Irresistible, the Plan A type play coming from the defenders.
Yeah, that's a standard defense. Doge Squad, I think, is prepared for it in a way. You've got the 5100s, Bobo and Roll to the south, kind of covering that. Smart play. And then from this, after Doge Squad is confidently moving north, knowing their opponent is probably being defensive, they move to the west. These 5100s are going to come in maybe from the 1-2 line and try and get some damage there. That could work out pretty well for them.
The engagement coming from the attackers has to be very, very well coordinated when it's coming from different areas.
Yeah.
But this KV-3 could be the tip of the spear, if you will, to maybe bounce a couple of those shots off the front. But as we talked about the tank columns yesterday, when tankers will stop when the first person takes damage, you can't do that. You have to keep pushing forward.
Yeah. Forward is the best direction in those situations. Now we're looking at Doge Squad with the same strategy as last time. You see Astropunk in that Tiger 1 is going to be going to the fountain, most likely. We've got COD in that KV-3 trying to fire through the window, or at least trying to fire at something, but Simply Irresistible is not taking those same positions that we saw from the replacements. When the replacements played against Doge Squad, I believe it was, we saw them taken apart by the KV-3, currently played by COD, and the IS-3s currently played Matsu Sol, Chili Coyote, and Rick Owens. Between that crossfire, they were able to get some real work done. Now, blind spot. Simply Irresistible does not have the vision to put a crossfire or stop Doge Squad from moving in on this position. They're very far back, and that is allowing for COD to move up. IS-3s coming up behind him, and 5100s are realizing they're actually out of the fight right now. If the fight starts, they're very far south, and they need to get moving.
Speed weaponry.
Oh, surprise.
Is not able to get that second shot, but Vode in the Tiger 1 gets a hit on COD in the KV-3. And Rick Owens and Matsu Sol move up slightly, and there is the trigger pull from Doge Squad on the western flag cap as the rest of the tankers up front try to continue the engagement on the defensive placement of Simply Irresistible. Multiple shots coming from the 5100s. Bobby gets the kill, and Swipple's going to continue to fire into COD, who could be the next one in the KV-3, and the rest of Simply Irresistible are going to push up quickly towards these tankers that are falling back.
Doge Squad is losing too much too quickly, and I don't think 15 seconds is going to be enough time. We're going to see a reset momentarily onto Roll, I expect. No, Bobo is going to be reset, making it oh, this is going to be crazy. No worries about the time. It's a reset. I think Simply Irresistible is going to be able to save this, and Doge Squad has kind of messed this one up. I think they took a risk, and it's not paying off.
Well, Bananas is pushing forward in the IS-3, using cover from the small warehouse. And as he continues to push up, he will be the linchpin, perhaps, if Simply Irresistible starts to lose more tanks. But The 3 tanks down for Doge Squad because of their split fire really hurts them. Another tank falls from Bananas, and he's going to use this building as continual cover. Astropunk and Rorold will continue to fire back towards any tanks moving in their position, and they lose Chili Coyote, so it's only these 2 tanks that are left. More shots coming from the flank against Rorold. Ram damage from the 5100 gets the kill. A big bounce against Astropunk, and Simply Irresistible puts a point on the board without losing a single tank in that engagement.
That was a risky play from Doge Squad. I can see what they were going for. They were trying to change up their normal strategy, and I think they saw a confusing situation. They walked in there, put the KV-3 in his normal position, and didn't see someone in the window. No one was in the normal keyhole position, which you usually see. And they decide, let's just go forward? And they do. Now, the 5100s, very important damage dealers in this comp. And that Tiger 1, a tank which has been effective in the past. Not in that fight at all. Yeah, and so they weren't able to help, and so it was 2 separate fights being overmatched one by one.
And you have to look at the corner game that was played as well with the 5100 placement from Bobby and Swipple. They're all the way to the north. They're behind the train station, and from there they are unloading like crazy in the short tank column on the short tank column from the IS-3s. From there, those IS-3s want to continue to absorb that damage as much as they can because they're trying to buy time for the flag cap guys. Yes. By the time they're down, there's still 25, 23 seconds left for the flag cap to finish. There's no wall of defense coming from those tanks. The 2 tanks that push around the corner that follow them are going to deal with them, and the 5100s can now push forward. Bananas in the IS-3s in a great spot. So it started off rocky, and it started to go completely downhill, and then it crumbled very quickly.
Yes, what needed to happen for that to work, I think, is the distraction from those IS-3s needed to truly delay them. In order to deal with those IS-3s, you had to make it so no matter what, they couldn't even just run past you to cap. They had to go fight you somewhere far away and then try and make their way back to this other cap. That could have worked. This situation, you were putting something in the way that wasn't strong enough.
As we get ready for perhaps the last match for the qualifiers for Season 5, Doge Squad is 1 battle away. Simply Irresistible still has some fight left in them. Let's find out what kind of tanks they're bringing, Randall.
All right, so we have Doge Squad with 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, a T-32 this time, and COD will be bringing a KV-2. Simply Irresistible will be bringing 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, and 2 Tiger 1s. That's a cute little pickup right there with that KV-2. Little derp, 152mm cannon, nice long reload, really slow. I don't know, though, why they keep bringing this. It seems like a joke pickup to me, like something you're just being silly with, but there might be an argument in there for its validity.
We could take a look at the hard stats another time, or maybe talk to Top Tier and see what they have to say about that. I look forward to what type of tanks they're going to bring in this 7x54 new format.
Oh, my God, there's so much craziness. There's so much craziness.
You definitely don't want to miss that, folks. Our season will begin on December 9th. So make sure to tune in then. But let's find out who's going to be joining us between these 2 teams. 6 minutes left to go here. Only getting started as Simply Irresistible is moving across the map on the Delta line. 3 of their tankers have headed to the west next to that flag cap. We have seen a switch here. Since it is Battle 7, Simply Irresistible were defending. Now they're on the attack pattern.
Rick Owens covering beautifully. And Bobby is someone we should look at real quick. He is going to be able to flank, perhaps unopposed. Rick Owens won't notice him if these walls are left standing long enough. And he might be able to get into the backfield if he times it right with the attack from Simply Irresistible. Bobby, what's he looking to do? Cross shots. Look at this angle that's going to exist once the fight starts. The IS-3s will come in from the south. 5100 going to put some great crossfire, and he begins.
There's the first one against Chile, and these IS-3s are waiting for the right time to push in. A little bit more of softening for the defensive position of Doge Squad as Rick Owens takes a hit.
That was perfect, perfect. Free damage and gets out of the way before the return fire comes. Exactly what Bobby needed to do. And now he holds back, reloads, and then we start the fight in just a minute. You know, we've got time. Simply Irresistible can take these softened tanks, put out some pot shots. Bananas throwing one out there right there. And Rick Owens is slightly softer, along with Chili Coyote. This is only good for Simply Irresistible.
Big bounce off the front of Bananas. And Still plenty of time for Simply Irresistible to make their move, and this is the move they're making. They're now turning the corner.
Even moving into the right angle. 2 tanks moving from a blind crossfire here, and that's going to allow these IS-3s to come in with minimal cost.
And they're going to focus on Rick Owens first, but Vode goes down. Now Rick Owens falls. A little bit of hesitation coming from Simply Irresistible as they approach the corner. They need that 5100 to continue to fire, and they do. Cod is down. Chili Coyote takes a hit for 307, but Doge Squad is not going down quietly. They're firing back. Bobo in a great spot fires towards the tank lineup from Simply Irresistible. There goes Matsu Soul. Roller gets hit for 317. Chili Coyote's going to hang back in the IS-3. He's the next one to go. That 5100 is going to be the next tank they're going to focus on, as the rest of Doge Squad's going to run from the powerhouse team, Simply Irresistible, as most of their tanks still have enough HP to stay alive against this press and Bobo in the IS-3. IS-3 takes 382 damage on that shot. Bobby from behind, the 5100 may still be reloading, but Bananas is going to stop Bobo cold, and now Simply Irresistible is going to put their tanks on the fly cap.
All right, it's Flak and Swipple. 2 tanks. 50 seconds left on the cap. They get a 3rd one in there. That's great. But there goes Bobo. Speed weaponry. He should be showing up soon. Looks like he's just tracked. That'll keep him from the cap. But the 5100s are on their way back. And if they catch someone, looks like they won't be able to do that quite as easily.
2 shots into Swipple for 870 as Astropunk and Robo are trying to fight their way out of this. Swipple is down. There goes Speed Weaponry. Nice shot around the corner. Snapshot coming from Doge Squad. It's 3 against 2. 5100s continue to shoot into the side of Flak. A track shot. Bananas pushes through. Can't get the kill against Rolled. Roll's going to turn around. I don't think he has enough shots to get the kill against Bananas.
He just put a track shot on him. He's only trying to delay right now. Play for time. But Bobby is 1 step ahead of him. And guess what? He's coming from the south. Looks like he should be fully loaded. Astropunk and Roll should be on the reload.
And here comes Bobby. Bobby fires into Roll, gets the shot and the kill. 1 shot from the IS-3 stops Astropunk. Bobby lines it up. 1 more hit, and Simply Irresistible does it. They're going to join us in the Gold League. Another Simp team, that's 3 total, will now be fighting in the Gold League for a huge prize pool and to fight against the best of the best in North America. Impressive play.
Really impressive play. I was loving that. And you saw just everything working out perfectly. 5100 on the flank. You also had a Tiger moving up from another blind approach. Everything working well on Himmelsdorf. Simply Irresistible, showing some strategies that I really appreciate.
Everybody needs to take a snapshot of this and focus on how to break a defensive stance that's up in that northwestern corner on Himmelsdorf. We've seen a couple successful scenarios in the past. This one goes up on that top shelf when it comes to successful approaches to break the defense on this map.
Yeah, and I really want to let's look at the post-game stats real quick. Bobby, MVP of that map, dealing 3K damage, 14 shells out, with 12 of those penetrating. Good play. Right behind him, everyone's doing their job as they should.
Bobby, 3K damage in that 5100. The newest addition to this team, added from the Simp clan, wasn't with them from last week. From this performance, this is a great snapshot to show why you have to make changes when you lose. When you're unable to make it, you have to make an inventory. You have to do a gut check for you and your team. They found whatever they found, and Bobby was that fix, at least from his performance we saw this week.
Yeah, everything's going well. Simply Irresistible is not the team that I initially put my bet on, but if you think about it, they're the team that makes the most sense. Simp is one of those clans that puts together strong teams, and they make their way into the Gold League. Some of them have a little trouble from time to time, but you have still Simp, one of the best teams every single season, and they're not going anywhere.
It's almost Simp has become a franchise or a university that most teams are now starting to pull from, when it comes to talent, and good on them. They have been a dominant force when it comes to North American tanks for quite some time. You were a member of Simp in the past, and the implications of being champions, once, and then in other seasons, second place multiple times for Simp Prime, led by Mac G. And then you have Simple Tankers, who has shown us very, very incredible matchups from the previous season, getting knocked out and then fighting their way back last week. So this has been a roller coaster ride for a lot of individuals that are members of the Simp clan.
Yeah, it's congratulations to Simply Irresistible. Well played. And to Doge Squad, it was a good match.
It was a really good match. It's a little sad to see them not make it again.
But they'll be back. They're back every time.
Do not underestimate the power of the Doge.
Just let that stay with you.
I said it that way so they can put it in their new soundboard.
I made sure not to say anything because you can't, get it on the clip.
Yeah,
It has to
their
be clean.
Tier 10 soundboard. Let's go ahead and recap what happened tonight. First off, we had Voltage versus Simply Irresistible. Simply Irresistible took that 5-1. We're have to call them SI for short. Doge Squad took out Get Flanked 5-1, and then in the end it was 5-2 with Simply Irresistible winning qualifier number 2 and joining us in the finals. Now, the next time you're going to see us is December 9th at 4:45. That's the first day of Season 5 play. The format has changed with 7x54, but also the type of scheduling has changed a little bit. We'll release more details a little bit later, but don't worry. There's 2 nights of World of Tanks action on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights.
Yep. We will have, I think, one right at the beginning of the season, which will be a little bit off, but stay tuned. We'll keep you guys updated on that schedule.
The first week, I believe it's Tuesday, Wednesday because of scheduling, and then after that, it's going to be Tuesday, Thursday. But there'll be more information on the website, worldoftanks.com or wglna.com. I also would like to remind everybody about signing up for the Silver League or the Bronze League. If you didn't make it into the Gold League, you can still sign up for Silver and Bronze. Sign-ups begin December 1st. They close on December 6th. The prizes, over 2 million gold available in the prize pool for Silver League, over 1 million gold in the Bronze League. And look at this, a Type 59 available for the winners of the Silver League. Some nice prizes.
Bronze, that is a Type 64. It's a good pickup tank. I like the Type 64. If you're going to be in the Bronze, that's the tank I would opt for myself.
Yeah. Man. Another Simp team joining us.
And we've got the qualifiers all wrapped up. We know all 16 teams that are going to be joining us in the league. And out of the 3 we've picked up out of the qualifiers, strong teams. Finally, getting a few in that we've been
Penguin
waiting
Mafia.
for.
Penguin Mafia has been trying for a while as well through the qualifiers. Now they've made it. So we'll see them, Simple Tankers, Simply Irresistible, and the rest of our Season 5 crew on December